Hello everyone, it's me Sarah, and today we're going to be doing the full breakdown of Disney's newest live action offering Lilo and Stitch. So get comfortable and strap in. Before we begin though, please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate it. Okay, now time to the full breakdown. The film begins much like its animated counterpart, with a group of intergalactic aliens holding a kind of tribunal. Jumba is on trial because he's basically created a super weapon in the shape of a life form, and so they wish to terminate it, as it has no redeeming qualities, even when asked to prove that it has the capacity to do or say something good. Experiment 626 grabs the mic and rattles off something in an alien tongue, which makes the entire alien audience shudder with disgust. Well, shortly after judgment is rendered, 626 escapes in a stolen spaceship and jumps to hyperspace, heading towards our very own blue marble Earth. Meanwhile, Jumba is tasked to hunt down and retrieve 626, along with Pleakley, who is kind of an intergalactic species cataloger. Back on Earth, we meet our other main characters, Lilo and Nanny. Lilo is quite the rascal, sneaking into a resort and enjoying herself, setting a bunch of chickens free, but also adventurous, diving for seashells and generally exploring the island. Nani, on the other hand, is struggling to make ends meet, jumping from job to job and errand to errand. Lilo is late for her hula class. They are gearing up for a big event that honours their traditions, but once again Big Sister Nani is late and misses the performance. This causes some tension between Lilo and her rival and bully, Myrtle, who knocks Lilo over and then she retaliates by shoving her off the stage. To chill out, Lilo heads home and puts on some Elvis Presley, her absolutely favourite musician. She locks the door on Nani, who is trying to apologise for missing the show, but Lilo's not trying to hear it. Then Tia shows up as beautiful as ever for a social worker appointment. A little backstory: their parents died some time ago, and so the older sister is now the one taking care of the family. As hard as Nani tries though, it's a lot and she feels like she's gonna lose everything. The social worker gives her another chance though, a set of 3 goals to achieve by the end of the week. Clean up, stock the fridge and get some health insurance. Simple enough, right? It's quite a shame because Lilo's too young to understand the difficulties that her older sister's having, bless her. Some neighbours drop by and we get a little more insight into Nani's life. She wants to study marine biology, even got an offer for a full ride at a prestigious university, but with her current situation, she just can't. The boy who likes her also pops by, putting on some of that surfer charm, but Nani definitely ain't got no time for that right now. We cut to 626 trying to sleep in his little spaceship when the check engine light comes on and he loses his mind and starts smashing buttons and everything. This causes the ship to crash land into the ocean off the coast of Hawaii. The island of Kauai, to be exact. Sorry if I mispronounced that. While he's going down, Lilo witnesses this from her window and thinks it's a falling star, so she makes a wish. That wish, of course, is for a best friend. 626 immediately gets up to no good, breaking off his tracking collar and then crashes a wedding to eat their cake. Chaos erupts, the guests flee, cake is utterly destroyed. Jumba and Pleakley aren't far behind though, and they land the ship just a few yards away and begin their hunt for the lost experiment. They use some advanced technology device to clone some random guests at the resort so they can appear more human, giving them the ability to move around the island without suspicion. 626, making his way across town, gets accidentally hit by a bus, so the animal control shows up and cages him and brings him back to the shelter. Of course, this is where Lilo ends up the next day, so she can feed the dogs. And this is where she and 626 finally meet, face to furry face. 626 gets the idea to let the girl adopt him because it would prevent Jumba and Pleakley from coming after him, as they have a directive not to hurt or interfere with humans. But it's love at first sight between these two, and so she takes him home and she officially names him Stitch. Enter Special Agent Cobra Bubbles, investigating the crash site for the possibility of extraterrestrial invasion. We've got our villain. Back to Lilo and Stitch, they get up to no good of course, spending the day at the beach, then sneaking into the resort and almost causing a traffic accident. When Nani gets off work, she picks the two up to take them with her to her second job, and nearly runs over Jumba and Pleakley. Jumba attaches a tracker to a truck so he can track them later. While at the restaurant, David, the doofus who's in love with Nani, approaches Lilo and asks her for some advice on how to get Nani to like him back. Stitch of course can't help himself, and so he's causing trouble once again. But when Lilo tries to discipline, she can't be mad at that adorable face, so she joins him in the mischief. Stitch accidentally starts a fire which nearly burns down the restaurant, and it gets Nani fired. Nani is super annoyed right now, and rightfully so. She asks Lilo to do one single thing, to just sit at the table and not cause a commotion. But the trouble doesn't just stop at the restaurant. Stitch completely tears through the house and makes an absolute mess. Nani threatens to take him back to the shelter in the morning, and here we get the iconic line. Ohana means family, and family means no one gets left behind or forgotten. The argument gets a little ugly between the two, and Nani says a few things she probably regrets, but things that needed to be said nonetheless. However, just outside of their home, Agent Bubbles was listening in and has become suspicious of their new dog. Lilo gives Stitch a family history lesson, showing her how Nani used to be a big surfing champion and her mom and dad. Stitch has never had a family, so this concept is foreign to him, but he likes the idea of it. He's also really intrigued by hula and joins Lilo in some dancing. The next morning, the social worker and Agent Bubbles, undercover as a second social worker, pays them a visit. Lilo is instantly suspicious of him though, but he manages to snag her hair from Stitch so he can test it. A short while later, the trio arrive in town and Nani is applying for her jobs, while Lilo gives Stitch a lesson on bad and good. No matter how hard the two work at it, they still get into a little bit of trouble. Only a little though. And Nani gets turned down at pretty much every single job, until Stitch finds a perfect one for her, bringing her a flyer for a recent opening for a surfing instructor. This is Nani's element after all. Perfect job for her. Cue up the sunshine and the waves and a great day at the beach. For once, life for the sisters seems perfect. This is interrupted by Jumba and Pleakley, of course, who knock them off their surfboard, and Stitch can't swim, so he panics, clinging onto Lilo, whom he almost drowns. Luckily, David was there and swam out and saved her just in time. After a visit to the emergency room, it dawns on Nani she still doesn't have health insurance. Since this is reported to the state, she is now facing having to pay the bill by herself or relinquish custody of Lilo, and the state will take care of it. Sad times. That is really sad. Jumba and Pleakley are having the worst time as well, as they receive a call from the High Command that not only have they failed in retrieving the experiment, but have also been detected by humans. thus alerting them to the existence of aliens. So they order Pleakley to detain Jumba and bring him back home. An expert extermination squad is being sent to take care of their problem. Dun dun dun. Oh dear. But back at home, Nani struggles with telling Lilo about what's going to happen with their little family. She doesn't want to lose her sister. She's all she has left in the world. They have a heartfelt remembrance about their parents, solidifying that sibling bond between them. Nani plays a song on her ukulele and Stitch, who feels guilty for destroying the family, decides it's best for him to leave, so he sneaks off into the night. The next morning, the social worker and Agent Bubbles show up to take Lilo, and it's all tears around, but Lilo is missing. Dun dun dun. Lilo is of course out looking for Stitch and makes her way to the shelter where she finds him sleeping in a cage. Stitch tells her that it's his fault he broke up the family, but Lilo says accidents happen and that he's not bad, he's just sometimes does bad things. She reminds him that Ohana means family and sometimes family isn't perfect. This tender moment is once again interrupted by Jumba, and Lilo defends Stitch fiercely. Stitch steals Jumba's portal gun and does what we all did in Valve's portal game, puts one on the ceiling and one on the floor, and watches as Jumba falls in an infinite loop. The two escape and head back home, but Jumba has followed them, and he's not playing anymore. He becomes a real jerk, destroying all the photos and memories in this house, and Lilo can't run away anymore, so she takes a stand and Stitch right alongside her. A battle ensues and the house is pretty much demolished, and Jumba finally gets the upper hand, hitting Stitch where it hurts the most, his feelings. Lilo has however managed to sneak aboard the ship, and Pleakley shows up at the house, but it's too late and is arrested by Agent Bubbles moments later. Pleakley tells them though that there's a way that they can get Lilo back, and well, Bubbles isn't heartless, so he agrees to help them. Using some cunning and their talent for chaos though, Lilo and Stitch are able to take control of the ship and pretty much crash it. It smashes into the ocean and Stitch manages to save Lilo from drowning this time, just as David, Nani and their friends show up and bring them back to the shore. But Stitch sinks to the bottom. Oh no. Nani's got this though. With her powerful thighs in overdrive, she picks up Stitch, who is apparently as heavy as a cannonball, and runs along the ocean floor to bring him back to the surface. Using jumper cables, they zap this little guy, which powers him back up, and yay, they save the day. Ohana. Just then, a pod shows up. The exterminators are here, along with the High Commander, as she begins to explain how the creature is dangerous. Stitch surprises her by being polite and telling her about his new family. Pleakley offers to stay and keep an eye on things, and Agent Bubbles agrees to keep everything a secret. Well, the Council's decision can't be reversed, but since the judgment was life in exile, well, he's being exiled right here on Earth. Cheeky. That still leaves the whole custody thing, and well, the house is pretty much a wreck. But don't worry, Nani and Lilo get adopted by their wonderful neighbour, and David finally makes a move on Nani. And Nani is going to go and get her marine biology degree. All is well in the world. So what did you think? Did the film live up to the original? I would love to hear what you think, so please let us know in the comments below. I want to thank you all for checking out the video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to our channel for future reviews and breakdowns. I have been your host Sarah. I hope you have the most beautiful day. Take care everyone. Goodbye.